I still don't know. There it All right, are we ready? Yeah. Everybody ready? Okay. We got 4 different times up here, but we're gonna go ahead and roll with it. Welcome to the Colonial Beach Town Council regular meeting on Wednesday, January 17, 2024. We'll call to order at 6 p.m. I will ask that you stand for a moment of silence, which will be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As we begin our meeting, I just remind people to silence their cell phones so that we can make sure to give respect to anybody who's speaking at the time and not be interrupted. And I appreciate you tuning in, watching online, or coming here in person today. Thank you. Roll call members, all members are present. I have no additions to the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda? I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? This is the consent agenda. There are 4 resolutions. All of them are amendments and appropriations as outlined in the staff report. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Council member announcements. I will start with Mr. Wood this time.
Thanks for coming out tonight, guys. There we go, turning on the mic. I appreciate you participating on such a cold night. It's good to know that the town has folks who are dedicated to its success. The town manager tonight is going to be discussing a number of the items of topics of interest, including the wastewater treatment plant. The council had a retreat on Friday, and we discussed a number of different options in order to resolve the issue. They're going to be, and the mayor will be speaking on part of that as part of the legislative agenda, and the town manager will address some of the other options. That is going to be it, other than the fact that the SCADA system, the folks are going to be in on Sunday night. Hopefully we'll get things installed next week. And so we'll have eyes on the thing 24 hours. So thanks, that's it for me today.
Councilmember Wood?
Good evening, everybody. As Mr. Wood says, appreciate you coming on such a frigid day. Just a couple of things for my new liaison reports. I have Housing Authority and the Planning Commission. So I'll go with the Housing Authority since that was first. That was on the 5th. Just a few notes. I knew a little bit about the Housing Authority, but still learning. And so the meeting I attended on the 5th was, eye-opening as far as kind of getting a brief overview of what they do. So at the meeting, they did introductions of who the president, vice president, and all that were. And then they let us know kind of what their main goal was, which they stated was, to keep seniors in their homes. But they also had mentioned that they didn't know that if the the need was real great. I think part of the problem is it's kind of hard to get the people who really need the help to in contact with them. So if anybody knows any seniors that actually need help with their houses, as far as repairs go, that please put them in touch with the housing authority. They said their main criteria was income, and then they also said that their repairs were limited to around 2,500. And then so they also let us know how they originally got their funding, which was from a block grant. And they're also considering splitting up into two. Right now, it's just the Colonial Beach Housing Authority, which is under the town of Colonial Beach. They're talking about starting a 501c3, which would be more focused on affordable or workforce housing. Let's see, they also talked about research needs to figure out what was actually needed as far as that goes, that workforce housing. They had a guest there who's also considering being a member, and she was at actually the economic development meeting that I attended a few months back. Her name is Raquel Williams-Jones. She has extensive experience with housing, so I think she'll be a good addition to their board. Their next meeting is February 16th, and I found out the other night when I was at the Planning Commission meeting that, talking to Spencer Sadler, that they're actually supposed to have their meetings in public places. They're gonna start actually having the meetings here versus people's homes, because that's actually required. They didn't know that, but, so public will actually be able to attend those meetings in the future, so it'll be good. And then for Planning Commission, I attended their meeting on the 11th. They're kind of doing, similar to what the council does. They have to do some housekeeping. They approved the minutes for the last couple of meetings, and they're actually all caught up with their minutes. Mr. Dooley's, I think, is doing a great job of helping them with that. The zoning, they talked about Article 8 and Article 20, and they had a public hearing. There were no comments, and so they forwarded that on to council. They also discussed the changes to the C1 permit with this versus the CUP, and they passed that to us, the council, 5-0. They removed car washes and as a by right to make that a CUP item. I believe that was something that was brought up a while back, maybe the mayor or somebody brought that to one of our meetings, so they addressed that. They went over their annual report. It also went over their bylaws. I guess one of the things that's changed, I'm not sure if that's something that it applies to council, but it does apply to the Planning Commission. They can no longer have remote participation in meetings. Now, that's per Virginia code. They elected their new officers. Vicki Luna is now the chair. Bailey Thompson is the vice chair. Nathan Howell is going to be the finance committee, and I think they have another community outreach committee. They're still trying to find a member for that to lead that. And then they also discussed the fact that they're going to have to update the comp plan. I believe they're going to address that in the coming year. And that's all I have for that.
Thank you. Go ahead, Ms. Robertson.
I'm gonna try this. Okay. Just a couple of things. I went to the Alliance meeting this morning, and can you hear me? No, I can't hear. Then my feet have to come off the floor. Okay, we'll try this again. This morning I went to the Alliance meeting, and that was very informative, and I'm going to let Dr. Sal Sullivan give you the details on that one. I also, and this is my little plug, but I also had a Rappahannock, the community college. And I've been aligned with that for, I guess, 8 years now. And I want to do a PSA, I guess, on, that is one of the most best programs for our small counties. And the things they are doing are fabulous. If you have a child that is, and the school does do, they have parts where they're in RCC already. And some of these kids are coming out when they get their high school diplomas, they're getting their college ones as well to start up. And it's a fantastic program, it really, really is. So I spent a lot of time with that today. And then lastly, boy, if you guys had a look at this thing, you wouldn't be able to decipher it either. Just everything is going so well right now, and we're getting so many pins in the road that usually it's downtime in the winter, and we have been going and going and going, and I think that's great. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Robertson. Dr. Sullivan?
See, she came right out.
So, good evening. Thank you for coming out. Not many people here tonight.
It's
Must not be
cold.
anything controversial on the agenda. I attended the school board meeting. I don't have my classes. Is there anybody here from the school board tonight? Yes, thank you.
Mitchell.
Dr. Mitchell. And he's hiding behind somebody there. So I'm gonna let them give you any details, but basically it was their reorganization meeting. And so they elected their chair and they set their dates. They set their budget schedule, which we connected the town and the schools together to make sure that that's aligned. We are going to have some regular meetings, myself and Dr. Mitchell and his leadership team, and possibly the mayor and the manager, town manager, on a little bit more regular basis to try to work together really closely, because the schools are incredibly important to our town for a number of reasons, one of which is economic. You know, we have the best schools, then we're gonna attract the best people to come here and bring their families here. I also had took some extensive notes for Vicki at the Alliance meeting. We meet quarterly, and it's a group of people that it's kind of like a liaison system where a group of people reach out to all the nonprofits and other community organizations in town. So we had 12 people in attendance today. We had speakers, Marissa Potts, who's our public relations person for the town. She went over the new events page that's on Visit CBVA, and it is now set up so that you can submit your own events there, whether you're a nonprofit or a business. So if you're gonna have some kind of a big event at your business or at your nonprofit, you can go in there and submit it. It does require approval, and it's approved by the town through Sally, town manager's office, and Marissa, so that we won't have people spamming us, right, by putting up events that have nothing to do with the town. But it's gonna be, I hope, a pretty good central calendar that's available and maintained by the people that are putting on the different events and projects and things. Sally updated us on the sip and strolls for this year. We did renew our permit. And we're going to have them there'll be 10 in association with the second Friday art walks. And then we have the ability to do 6 additional sip and strolls. Last year, Downtown Colonial Beach coordinated and manned the events. We need volunteers on the street for the events. We need 2 to 4 volunteers on the streets for each of these sip and stroll events. And Downtown Colonial Beach is going to continue to do the background work, but we're looking to have an opportunity for other nonprofits and organizations in town to sponsor them. And what that means is you get to attach your name to them. Basically what you need to do is to provide these volunteers. 4 volunteers means an hour and a half each. And then the other hour and a half for the sip and stroll event, they can go and enjoy it. But it's also an opportunity to do a fundraiser. For example, if the fire department wanted to do a sponsor, a sip and stroll, they could take their what they call a boot event, where they have their booths on the street, where they could collect donations for that. So I think we have a couple of nonprofits that have already volunteered, but if you're interested, just get together with Sally Adams at colonialbeachva.gov, and let her know when you would like to sponsor one of those events. Upcoming events for January, the only one that I have on the calendar is the Colonial Beach Brewing is doing a chili cook-off to benefit the Colonial Beach Humane Society, and that's on January 28th. And they're looking for entries into the chili contest, and then you make a $5 donation and you get to come in and taste and eat the chili and vote on the different chili. In February, there is going to be the Menhaden documentary, and then things sort of start to break open. One desperate need is the Guadalupe Free Clinic needs Spanish interpreters. And you don't have to just work on Wednesdays and Saturdays. They need Spanish interpreters to help schedule appointments and things on other days of the week too. So it's a really interesting job if you're fluent in Spanish, and can really make a big difference in the lives of our Spanish-speaking residents and other people that use the clinic there. I think that's all I got.
Thank you. Ms. Brown?
Good evening. A few things from the public safety perspective. First of all, I see Detective Lamont is here, but just to put it out there officially on the record, I'm sure it would be recognized at some point, but the Eugenia Urbank Award, he received that from the Colonial Beach Volunteer Rescue Squad for rescuing 2 people from inclement weather in the Potomac River. That's awesome. So thank you to our CB Volunteer Rescue Squad and to our police department. Great work as usual. Thursday, January 25th is the next neighborhood watch meeting. It's at the police station. I will be there. I think we get pretty good attendance, but if you're concerned about a certain thing in the community that's getting your attention, whether it's good or bad, and you want the police to know about it and be aware of it, let me be aware of it. Come out to that meeting or shoot me an email and I'll make sure to share your thoughts or concerns. Date is to be determined, but as we know, local restaurants in town, from all of them, always do so much for our community. But Fire Escape American Grill did reach out to me, and they would like to do a Colonial Beach Volunteer Fire Department fundraiser at their restaurant. Probably thinking March. I will, as soon as we firm down a date with Chief Roby, I will let everyone know, but that should be pretty cool. I'm not sure I'll work out yet, but maybe a portion of proceeds or a certain meal will be a special. So that's really exciting. And of course, thank you to Fire Escape. They're fantastic. And last but not least, if you like hearing my voice, the Community Beach Community Foundation meetup is tomorrow at the United Methodist Church, and they invited me to speak. So I'll be speaking all things Colonial Beach, good, bad, and ugly. So feel free to come. Hopefully it'll be fun. Refreshments are provided by the church. So thanks.
Mr. Allison?
So some of the admin items that we have, obviously people know that there's been some weather going on around here, a little cold, a little snow, a little ice. So some of the offices have been closed. I also want to caution people that they're potentially going for additional snow on Friday. So just be aware of that and everyone stay safe. Part of our finance budget timeline will be illustrated later in this evening. Just know that we, as we met last Friday to discuss our strategic planning, budget is one of the items that always comes up as a hot topic. And we're very well aware of making sure that, we're staying fiscally responsible for the town and making sure that we're doing the best thing that we can for the town going forward throughout the year. So I hope to have a lot of input from individuals as we go through this budget cycle, making sure that your voice is heard and understanding what is important to you in the town. And we'll take that into consideration as we're doing this. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Allison. Okay, I just have a few to run through. It's been a busy start to the year. Since our last council meeting, I attended the rescue squad ceremony and dinner where they swear in their officers. The administrative officers, the president is Donna Scheller, and the chief is Holden Olaf. And that is when I first met our new county administrator, Mr. Ben Prescott, who's here with us tonight. And then attended the Board of Supervisor meeting where I'm sure we'll get more of an update from Supervisor Tribbett, but we now have a new chair of the Board of Supervisors, Mr. Woody Henson, and the vice chair is Daryl Fisher. After that was the strategic action planning meeting with the council, where we spend all day in a room hashing out all of the town's needs. Budget, finance was certainly a big part of that, but I'd say the majority of the day was the priority of the wastewater treatment plant. And that a majority of our time was spent creating and coming up with finalizing an action plan for this year, so that is at the top priority. The notes from that strategic meeting are being compiled now, so I'm hoping those will be available to present at the next work session meeting, is my hope. But it was a pretty impactful day. I would just want to thank this town council for your participation that day. I thought it was the best strategic meeting that the town has had thus far, and that was really attributed to the participation and presence of each and every one of you. So thank you very much for that. The town is stronger for it. At that meeting, only one action item was taken, and I just want to make sure that people know about it. And a single action item that was taken at the strategic action meeting was to amend the legislative request so that the very first item at the top of the request and the request that was prioritized was the support and request of funding to address the town's longstanding issues with influent infiltration in the town's wastewater treatment plant. Those of you that have been following know that we made our legislative request last year and that was funded, but also know that it will take more than that, and that legislative request has certain parameters to it, in which we're gonna need to expand on what we're doing at the plant beyond the parameters of what just that money was. And I'm sure we'll hear more about that, as one of the things that came out of that action plan were monthly updates about wastewater treatment at every regular council meeting from here forward. So everybody will be hearing on that subject on a regular basis. After that meeting was MLK Day, and I just wanted to thank the First Baptist Church, Dr. Karen Sullivan, and all of the speakers and everybody who came to celebrate and commemorate Martin Luther King Jr. On that day. I thought that the speakers were very good and that it was well attended, from the chief of police to the sheriff's department, 4 of the 5 county board of supervisors. And anyway, it was just a really impactful day and really important. The EDC meeting had a lot going on. I won't recap everything that happened in the meeting, but I'm just going to highlight a couple of things. The chamber is working on the guidebook for 2024 right now. So if you need your listing in the guidebook, please submit it to them as soon as possible. They also will be doing a palm tree sponsorship again, as we do every year. The palm trees that are on the beach are not funded by public funds, but rather by personal sponsorships, personal donations to the chamber. I donate one, sometimes other council members do too, but it takes a village. And so they will be asking for palm tree donations. They would like to up it by 2 trees so that they can have palm trees next to the love sign that's been added on Irving Avenue. The Main Street, downtown Colonial Beach is working on their Main Street certification. This is the last year of a push towards that. And so they had a strategy meeting in which DHCD came to facilitate that meeting. Kyle Meyer was here all day with them, and I'm sure they will have an update for us about how that's, what action they will be taking over the next year to get there to designation. Kelly Evko will be attending a Go Virginia event, and I believe also with the county administrator. She had an extra ticket, and maybe some other people. So she is hard at work for the town of Colonial Beach, out and about in the state, connecting us with new opportunities. There is a very major fundraiser Mardi Gras event. It looks like a lot of fun. It's gonna be at Riverboat, and it is a fundraiser for downtown Columbia Beach and their Main Street activities. It is on February 10th at 6 p.m. It is at Riverboat upstairs in that banquet facility, but is catered by Firescape. And it should be a night, a lot of fun, and I think there's prizes and all kinds of things because they've already hit me up for donations, so. Anyway, it looks like a really nice event. I want to remind people that the 250th anniversary of this nation is upcoming, and there's a lecture series at Stratford Hall. It's really worth checking out. There will be many events over the course of the next several years for commemorating the 250th anniversary, and Columbia Beach is an integral part of our nation's history here with Monroe's birthplace just outside of our gates. For the town side, the GIS, the Public Interfacing GIS has launched. Geographical Information Systems, I think is what GIS stands for. It is a tool that is online for you to use to get information about parcels. That's public property, that's your property, other people's property. It's mainly for knowing where boundary lines are, and getting tax card information. It also has the FEMA floodplain maps on it, and the trash routes, at least like which day you're in. And for a new resident, it can be extremely helpful. For a real estate agent, it can be helpful. For a bank, it can be helpful. For many types of commerce and economic development, these GIS tools are really important. So it is launched and it is on the website.
Madam Mayor, just one comment on that. Don't freak out when you look at it. It hasn't been geo-proofed yet. So like it looks like my neighbor's property line runs through the middle of my house.
Oh,
So there's some work that needs to be done on it before you can trust those lines to be in the right place as they look on the map.
yeah, I guess I should put a caveat, and there is a caveat on the website that says that GIS lines are a projection on a satellite imagery, so you cannot trust that that GIS line is exactly where your property line is. You need a survey for that. But at least as far as getting your parcel data, which zone you're in, a lot of people, have trouble figuring out what kind of zoning they're in and what regulations come with that. When you click on the parcel, it will show you which zone you're in, and it will give you a direct link to the zoning ordinance associated with that parcel, which is really helpful. And this is the first time the town has ever had that capability. Yes, Mr. Wood?
Just to add on to what the mayor is saying, the GIS is something, I don't want to say it's been neglected for a long time, but wasn't kept up to date. That's being cleaned up. We have an outstanding person taking care of that for us. It's also going to help us not only